I've done it. I've removed the propane stove. I didn't film it because actually it wasn't really installed. It was just sitting there. All I had to do was disconnect the propane line and it lifted right out. So now I have a hole right here. That light's almost horrible. Flickering, I can't stand it. But I think, well, first of all, this, which is a Food Ninja oven, these things are great because they're such a low profile and thin. You can't fit like a full turkey or anything in them, but these preheat and heat up in about 10 to 15 seconds, and they cook really fast, and they have a ton of options, and their slim design really makes it ideal. But these things seem to be, I've owned a lot of toasters, and I've got one in my RV. These things are very power efficient. So despite the fact that you can't fit everything in the whole world in it, you can fit most things. And saving power on electric for boats or RV or any kind of situation like that is great. So while these things are not advertised as being super power efficient, because of how close the coils and everything are, it heats up just so fast. But this will fit, I believe, in there once I build a shelf for it. And then I found, let's see, I find it here. Yeah. This on board, I'm going to turn the light off. This on board, which a little shaving down will fit there nicely, and then I can put my cooktop on top of this, which will be an induction portable unit, like hopefully the one I saw in Gone with the Wind. They have a cooktop that they recommend. I'm going to try using their induction cooktop. Alright, let's see if she fits. And yeah, perfect. A little snug, but I think that's what I want. Oh, I hate this flickering light. I hate it so much. Yeah. Just gotta ignore the rest of the mess. You just pretend you don't see that. This isn't meant to be an unboxing, but this is what I bought for my cooktop. Packaging inspires confidence. Sarcasm. But let's see here. Mostly one-handed. There it is. Oh, it's Chinesium glory. Well, here we go. It's the first attempt at cooking something on the boat. Induction cooktop works okay. I might have to get used to it. It seems like everybody says it gets hot in the middle and not so great on the edges, but the pan might have to go back. It's bending and bowing. I don't think pans are supposed to do that. Alright, my sink comes with one of these plates that slides back and forth and makes a terrible, horrible sound. And it's nice because it allows you to have more counter space or more sink space, depending on if you need it. But what's better than one of these, which I'm going to ditch this, is to have something like these. This is a dry rack or something. It's got these silicone ends on it, just captively holding these tubes with friction. You can pull them out, which I've done here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these tubes and I'm going to cut them down with this tube cutter. Just cut them. It's really easy. It's about only $10 to make this fit the size of where the plate went. And then I'll have a foldable. You know, I can either have half or double. And it'll be a dry rack and let water pass through, and it won't cap it up here, and it won't make the noise. It just I think this is just a lot better than one of those plates are. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down and put it back together, and I'll show you what I got. I'm measuring the next cut off of the last cut. Trying to. Pain, but there it goes. And that's cut to length. Perfect. Rinse and repeat like 20 times. And there you have it. I have this thing that fits in the groove of the sink, just like the old one did. And now it's a nice dry rack. Excellent. New cooking adventures. I got myself one of these Insta pots, and Amazon was very gentle in its delivery. I don't really want this to be an old unboxing or anything like that, but the state of the box is just, it's just ridiculous. I have a good chance it may have survived. It looks to be intact after all that. Oh gosh. Oh golly, oh joy. Alright, new problem, new project. And we got the door here, which is pretty cool. It's made entirely out of acrylic. But you see it's crazing, and it's probably getting close to its useful time. But as you see, the screws are pulling out of the plastic, especially right here. I think they're completely out. Sometimes this hinge comes out, and it's nothing for it. I think I'm going to do is try to find some inserts to put in there, because what you see is they've done is they just used wood screws. I see that you just use wood screws in the plastic, and that's not the appropriate way to do that. You really probably should use some threaded inserts. So I'm going to see if I can get some threaded inserts and see if I can't keep the door limping along until I can fully replace it. Focus. Damn you. Yeah, so they're a heat insert. So I bought a cheap soldering iron and some tips. It saved you the video of me having to modify the tips to actually work with the soldering iron. Alright, so these are the threaded inserts. We're going to try to set into the acrylic, and they're usually installed with a soldering iron. I got this cheap soldering iron, and these, well, weren't that cheap tips, but they didn't fit. So I had to sit there with a file and file this down so that this would actually go onto there, so we can heat these. Come on, focus. Heat these inserts up to get them to set into the plastic. Now we have to drill the holes out a little bigger so that these inserts will go in, and then they'll thread to these M3 screws. Alright. Carefully.
That's not really her style. They all got the same heartbeat, but hers is falling behind. Nothing in this world could ever bring them down.
Alright, so the trick seems to be increasing the hole size 0.5 millimeter at a time with the drill bit, so stepping the plastic, or stepping the hole up in the smallest increments possible, and going slow and being really careful. And we can get focus. We've got 2 inserts in there, and the plastic's staying somewhat glued together. There's a cement, liquid cement you can use on acrylic to bond it back together, and it's wetting, so if you get a little crack like this, sometimes you can focus. you can get the cement to wet into that crack and rebond the plastic back together. But this is pretty old, brittle stuff, so just gotta be careful. Soldering iron tip, barely focus. I'm just gonna slip one of these air inserts onto the tip. It's very hot right now, so careful not to burn myself. Alright, that'll heat up real quick. And then we've got a hole, focus, here. This hole, I'm just putting this one in to reinforce the plastic because it's wanting to come apart here. So once you get it heated, sort of gently push it as straight as you can while the door moves. Oh, come on. And gently into place. That's set into the plastic now. So the door was in need of repair, and I was just getting the last screw back in it when the whole thing fell off. And now I don't have a door. And of course, there it is, got ripped itself out of the frame there. It's just all rotted wood. So now I've got a bigger project. And yeah, to note, it's 5 degrees, this many degrees out there. So I'm encouraged to get the door back in any way I can. But you can see I've put the inserts in there. And from the middle hinge, where it folds in the middle, it actually worked quite nicely. We just have to really step up these holes really gradually. So I'm just going to keep on doing it, and got to work quick here because I'm starting to freeze. Alright, I'm sorry for the lighting or whatever else is going on, but I didn't get to film putting the door back on. It's sort of on there as best I can with what I got. When the door fell off, this seam here on the inside is totally rotted on the inside because it's just exposed wood to the elements. So we look at some screws that fell out here. Let's see if we can focus on that. You see there's almost no threads. They're all rusted all the way through. Yeah, there's just nothing left of the screws, nothing left of the wood that they're in. So yeah, I have to add this to the list of something that needs to be fixed properly when there's resources available, and maybe it's a little warmer. Hopefully that'll hold for winter. Alright, another day, another challenge. Here we are. We see that the water is frozen over. Water's not supposed to make that sound. So, yeah. The thing is that my water tanks are in the keels at the water line, and they're not salty. It's fresh water, so the salt water's freezing. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's hard to see, but those threaded inserts seem to really have done the trick. They're holding nice and strong. So I think this is a pretty good fix even on acrylic that's pretty crazed and old. Just gotta be careful how brittle it is. I have to replace this door, and I think I'm going to do the same. I might build it with acrylic again, but I'll definitely be using these inserts for all the hardware. On the list of things to do today is putting more lines out. Some of these lines are old, but it's scheduled in the forecast for up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts tonight.
And let's see if I can see get things in focus and frame. Put out a couple extra lines in case something breaks in these old ones. I've got some bungee cords here, sort of keep things more tame, but I think I need to do something a little bit more because there's so much play, say, in this line up here, that we can really get jolted around when that comes in and pulls taut. Alright, I hope this is overkill. But you see is up here where these ropes at the front will take most of the strain, is I've doubled them up, so neither one of those ropes is on the same cleat. The thin one is actually running lighter and it's actually tauter. I'm hoping that it's going to act as kind of a bungee cord. And it's actually tied up to the anchor cleats, while this closer one is tied up to just the cleats on the side of the deck. And I've done something similar here. I've also used two dock cleats over there. So, and then these are also set up running the two different cleats on the deck of the boat as well. So not any one cleat or rope can fail. A lot of things have to fail. Oops, I'm sorry. Pointing the camera up at the ice that's floating by. I'm not so excited about the ice. Alright, I'll do the best I can with the lighting. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. And, well, I'm not trying to bounce around, but we are moving. And, we got potentially, I don't know, 50, 60 mile an hour gusts potentially happening. We're not quite in the middle of it yet, but we put out the water dishes, even though I don't think it's ever leaked there before, so that's a new leak, because all the woodwork's dry over there. But this spot's always been wet, and even with the shrink wrap on, water is pouring in. Previous owner says boat doesn't leak. It leaks even with a tarp over it. I'm hoping, or I'm suspecting, going outside, is that this might be our issue right here. I've tried this flex tape. It's supposed to work underwater, and even if I dry that area off real good, it won't stick. But there's a I can't get the light to cooperate, but there's a just a giant hole right there, and it's just right where the tarp is leaking at the mast. I'm gonna go see if I can find something better to stuff that with. I hope that's where the water's coming in. I can't figure out where else. Gosh, this is at the dock in a harbor. Must admit, I am a bit queasy. I sort of want off this merry-go-round now. The wind is hopefully peaking right now. Plastic seems to be holding so far, and the leaks seem to have died down since I've added the epoxy putty. But I'm tired.
I lost the clip, but I managed to plug the hole with some of the water weld stuff. Same stuff I was using to patch the holes in the water tank. So I got the hole in the roof of the deck plugged, and so far it seems to be slowing the leak down quite a bit. So fingers crossed.
Well, storm broke. Already been off the boat, and looks like everything's survived pretty well, whole marina. Everybody's commenting how crazy it was, but you know, things were close. I just about, I don't know how to say lost a line, but a brand new line that wore but wore all the way through the outer coating and a bit into the middle of it. So that's one line lost. So the other lines show quite a bit more wear on them now, but I've got redundancy, so we'll be fine. It's getting close to dark, but I wanted to show this water weld patch here for filling a pretty big hole in the deck here. It worked, and it's, you know, in a pinch it worked. Of course, I'm gonna have to sand or grind this down when I go to fix this permanently, but I was quite surprised how well this worked, even while it was raining. So I'm keeping some of this stuff on hand for sure. But I think I'm going to end the video here, because this was a fairly exciting time, and I'm pretty happy with the final results. And I think this is the only real major leak in the boat, was just this. So I'm pretty happy with that.